So in this part, we are going to discuss about some of the sorting algorithms that you already have done in your course curriculum, right? Either in your data structure or algorithm course or design and analysis of algorithm course. Okay. So we'll discuss in this part. We are going to discuss about bubble sort, selection sort, and quick sort one by one. But we are not going to get into very details. We are just having a quick review of these algorithms. Okay. So first we are going to discuss about bubble shot. So why bubble shot is called bubble shot? Uh, so have you ever thrown a heavy brick into the pond of water? So if you have done that, what will happen? You will find that the brick, being a heavier one, goes at the bottom of the pond then and there, almost then and there, and the small bubbles that are generated by that action will come up from bottom of the water to the surface very slowly, right? So in bubble shot also, what will happen, you will find that in each iteration the largest element or the heavier element is going to come to the end of the array or end of the sub array, uh, as the iteration ends, uh, but the smaller elements which are coming to the left shifted only one place. Okay, so the point is the heavier element come to the end or at the last of the array then and there, but once the iteration ends, but the smaller element comes to the left only a single place. Okay, so from that feature it is called the bubble shot algorithm. Okay, so how bubble shot is done? So what we do in this bubble shot algorithm, we generally compare two adjacent elements from the beginning, right? And if we found that if the elements are not in order, it means that if the left element is greater than the right element, then we swap those two elements to make them in order. Okay, so and this will continue until we reach the last element. Okay, so once we reach the last element, we have completed one iteration. Okay, so as soon as the first iteration is complete, the highest element is going to get into the last place in the array. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll continue this process for the rest of the element except the last position. Okay, so we'll repeat the whole process until the array is sorted. So in this way, we'll repeat the whole process for the rest of the element except the last element. So once the second iteration is completed, we'll have the second highest element in the second last position, and like that it will continue, and finally it will sort the whole array using bubble shot algorithm. Okay, so if you see this animation where the sorting algorithm is described, so initially this is your position of the array. So first the first two element is going to be checked, and since they are not in order, so that will be swapped. So next the next two element is going to be checked, and since they are not in order, it will be swapped. Okay, so in this way it will continue until the largest element will come to the end. So if we look at this example, it is basically comparing the two adjacent element one by one, and if they are not in order, they are basically swapping it. Okay, so now if you look at it at the end of the first iteration, the largest element in this array, which is basically 8, is coming to an end, right? Okay, so 8 has, being the highest element, should be at the last of the array, and it has now gone into the last place. Okay, now it will, in the second iteration, it will try to find out the next element. Okay, next highest element, and that is going to be in the second last position. Okay, so as in this example, the 7, being the second highest element, is going to be placed just before 8. Okay, after the second iteration. So likewise this process will continue, and you will find that the whole array is being sorted eventually once all the iteration is completed. Okay, so now at this point 3 and 1 will be compared. Since they are not in order, that will be swapped. 3 and 5 in order, so they will not be swapped. 5 and 6 in order, will not be swapped. 6 and 2 is out of order, so they will be swapped. Okay, now 6 and 4 is again out of order, so they will be swapped, and you can find that 6 has come to its place. Okay. Now again from the beginning, 1 and 3 will be in order, so no swap. 3 and 5 is also in order, so no swap. 5 and 2 is not in order, so they will be swapped. Okay. Now 5 and 5 and 4 will be compared, so since they are not in order, they will be swapped again. And so this is how the process will go on. Now from this you can see that there is the array has already become shorted, right? But the process is still continues. Okay. In bubble chart, actually you will find that uh, even if the array gets sorted during the iteration, the process is not stopped. Okay. So we can tweak this algorithm to have an indicator. Okay. So using which we can improve the runtime of the algorithm uh, by not going into the iterations which are not required. Okay. So actual runtime can be improved by swapping an indicator inside an iteration. So as you see in the last example in the animation, that even if the array gets sorted, yeah, the process is yet not finished. Okay, it is still continued, right? So that will we can prevent this. We can skip those further iterations uh, by introducing an indicator or flag variable. So if you see an example with the flag variable, suppose in this example we have 5 elements. Okay. And in the right you have flag. So if we run if the animation is started, so this is your initial phase. So 4 and 5, so once any two elements are compared, the flag will be raised. Okay. So if the flag is red, it means that uh, you have to go to the next iteration. Okay. But once if we found, now you see that the array is already sorted, so no need to raise the flag, so it will stop the further iteration. Okay. So like that you can implement the bubble sort with an indicator uh, to improve the runtime of the algorithm. So the properties of bubble sort include that bubble sort is a comparison sort. Comparison sort means the it sorts the elements of the array by comparing the value of the elements. Okay. So as you have seen that it is comparing the value of the two adjacent elements while it is doing the sorting, right? So an algorithm which basically sorts an array by comparing the value of the elements are called a comparison sort. Okay. So bubble sort is one of them. It is an in-place sort. In-place sort means you do not require any other space, other array or other memory space which is dependent on the size of the original array. Uh, yeah, you don't require this. Okay. So the array is going to be sorted within the array itself. No need of extra memory is required. You may tell that there will have when we are swapping we might have one extra memory, but again while you are swapping you can avoid those extra memory. But even if you don't avoid it, the extra memory is basically order of 1. Okay. That is not dependent on the size of the input. Okay. So that's why since that is a constant memory and not dependent on the size, and we are not requiring any memory which are basically dependent on the size of the array, so that is why it is called in place sort. Okay. The array is going to be sorted within the array itself. We do not need to copy it in anywhere else. Okay. And finally it is a stable sort. Stable sort means if you have duplicate elements in an array, and so those duplicate elements are going to have their relative position maintained after the sorting process is completed as well. What does it mean? Suppose let me write it for you. Suppose you have an element a at some position I. Okay. And you have an element a at some position i plus d being a positive integer. Okay. So uh, in between there are some other elements as well. Okay. So once you sort this array, what will happen, this a should come in a stable sort, should come prior to this a. Okay. So this a will come prior to this a. Okay, so in the shorted array, if this A, which is in the ith position originally, comes to the jth position, okay, the A which was in the I plus D position has to will come just after the jth position, that is j plus 1 position. Okay, so the relative order between these two duplicate elements is going to be maintained even after the sorting. Okay, so in this case it is called the stable sort. Okay, so in stable sort the relative order of the duplicate elements are going to be maintained. Okay, so in bubble sort that scenario happens, and that's why bubble sort is also an stable sort. uh, Regarding the complexity, so if we analyze the complexity of bubble sort case wise, in the best case is the case when the array is already sorted, and in that case you will record order of n times. Okay, if you are using the indicator, if you do not use the indicator, it is going to execute all the iterations, and then it will take order of n square time. Okay, so you have to mention in case of best case, if you are using the indicator, then only you are having the time complexity of order of n. Otherwise, you are going to have the same time complexity of order of n squared. Okay. In the worst case, the when the array is inversely sorted, then it is going to take order of n squared time, and in any average case, in any random array, it is going to take order of n squared time to execute. Okay, so with this we have come to an end of the discussion of bubble sort. Next we are going to discuss on the selection sort. So again, the name, why it is called selection sort. So how the selection sort is done. So what we do in selection sort, we select the best element for the next place from the remaining elements. Okay, so so what does it mean? So initially we do not have selected any element. So first what we will when we try to sort it manually, what we will do, we will try to find out the smallest element, and we try to put it in the first position. Okay, so the smallest element is now the best element to the first place. Now in the next iteration, what will be the case? So the best element will be the second smallest element, right? And in the next place, the second smallest element is going to be placed. Okay, so that is how it is going to be. So we select the best element for the next place from the remaining element. So this is how the nomenclature of selection sort has come into the picture. Okay, so how we do the selection sort? So for each position in the array starting from the beginning, we try to find out the best element for from the remaining items which we are not placed already. Okay, so we find out those best element, and we swap it with the element currently in that position. So what does it mean? Suppose uh, the best element. So we start the selection sort at the first position. We have to put the smallest element in the array, right? So we'll scan the whole array. We'll try to find out where the smallest element is in the array. So we try to find out the position, and then we swap the value at the first position with the value at the position of the smallest array. Okay, so if you swap that, the smallest element is going to come in the first position, right? And next what we are going to do, we are going to continue the same process for the rest of the positions. Okay, so next we will try to find out, we will select the second position, and we try to find out what is the minimum from the remaining element, okay, of the array. So we if we find out the minimum of the remaining element from the remaining element, what we are we originally are having the second minimum element from the whole original array, right? So we'll find the second minimum element from that array, and we'll swap it with the position. Okay, so in that way the second minimum element is going to come to the second position. Okay, and in this process will continue until we scan the whole array. So we'll continue the process until all the positions are covered, means all the elements got sorted. Okay, so this is how the selection sort is done. So if you see this animation, you will try to you will understand that how the selection sort is done. Okay, so starting so this is our initial position. So first we find out the minimum element 0, and we swapped it. So the animation is a bit quicker, and so if you notice it very carefully, you will find that the selection sort is done over here very quickly. Okay, so again, the property of selection sort, it is again the comparison sort, it is also the in place shot, and again it is an stable shot. Okay, so all these things I have already discussed in case of bubble shot, right? So again, the time complexity of the selection shot, in the best case, in the worst case, or in the average case, it doesn't matter. It is basically going to scan through all the elements in the array, and if the array is already shorted, it cannot understand the array is already shorted. It will basically try to do the whole thing for the already shorted array as well. Okay, so it doesn't matter for a selection shot how the input, how the arrangement of the input array is given to it. Okay, it will always do its full job. It will always do all the iterations, all the swapping it needs to find out to short the array. Okay, so this is an algorithm where basically you will have order of n square complexity for all the cases, because actually there is no specific cases for selection shot. Okay, there is no best case, worst case, or average case for selection shot. uh, any array you give it, it will basically take order of n square. Okay, now comes the insertion shot. Again, we will first find out why it is called insertion shot, because we insert the next element into the right place in the shorted part of the array. So in insertion shot, what we have, if we have done few iterations in the insertion shot, and considering at, after some iterations, what we have the array is a part of the array is shorted in the left, and the part in the right is not shorted, and we are basically picking the next element from the right, and we are trying to put it in the right position in the left subpart where the which part is already shorted. Okay, so that is how what we so in that case what we are doing, we are finding out the next element from the right part, and we are trying to put it into the left part where it should be in the shorted order. Okay, so since we are inserting the element from the right into the left part in its proper place, it is called the insertion shot. Okay, so this is the same way. So insertion shot works in the same way. We basically uh, do when we arrange the cards, when we play cards and arrange our cards in our hand, right? So in the same way insertion shot works. Okay, so we start from the second element, because the first element is a single element which is already shorted, and we are considering it as the left part. And as the algorithm progress, you will find that the left part or the already shorted part is going to increase, and the right part which is not shorted is going to decrease, and eventually the whole array will be the left part that is already shorted part. Okay, so starting from the second element, uh, we insert the element to its proper place in the shorted subarray to its left. Okay, so we'll do that, and then we'll continue this process until we cover the entire array. So as I told you, so we'll have the left part which is already shorted. We start with a single element in the left part, because a single element is already always shorted. Now the second element is not uh, either will be in order or not in order. So if it is not order, we'll insert it in its right position, and if it is ordered, then the left part is increased. We'll consider the third element, and where it has to be inserted. Okay, so in this way we will continue the insertion short until the whole array is shorted. So if you look at this example, you will understand. So this 356 is now shorted order. Next element is 1, which is going to be inserted prior to 3, right? So now for inserting, what we have to do, we have to shift the already shorted elements where we are going to insert the element. We have to shift the elements to the right one place, right? So this is how the insertion is done. Okay, and this is how as you can see in the animation, how the insertion shot is done. Okay, so finally the element 4 is going to be short, so it has to be inserted after 3 and before 5. So from 5 to 8, that elements are going to be shifted one place to the right, and then we can have an place for putting 4. Okay, so that is how the insertion shot is done. So again, insertion shot is comparison shot, in place shot, and stable shot. as we have seen in the for the last two sorting algorithms, right? Now for the time complexity analysis, insertion sort performs best when the array is already sorted. Okay, in that case, the time complexity is order of n only, because uh, if the array is already sorted, whenever you are trying to find out that where the next element is to be placed, you will find that the next element is always in placed. Okay, so the inner loop, which basically shifts the element towards right one place, that will never be executed, and that's why the outer loop is going to be going to give you the complexity of order of n only. Now the worst case is when the array is inversely sorted. In that case, uh, every iteration, all the elements in the left sub part, which is already sorted, has to be shifted one place right, and the element which we are going to insert is going to be inserted in the first position in all the iterations. Okay, so that is when the worst case happen in insertion sort, and it is giving you the order of n square time complexity. And in average case, any random array, it is basically it is going to take your order of n square as it is taking in your worst case analysis. Okay. So with this, we come to an end of the initial three algorithms. Very brief discussion on those algorithms. Next, we are going to discuss about the sorting algorithms that are based on divide and conquer. In that part, those algorithms are nothing but the merge sort and quick sort. Okay, and in the next part, we are going to, I mean, part after fourth part, that is fifth part, we are going to discuss about the heap sort, and that will complete our review of sorting algorithms part. Okay, so in the next part, we are going to discuss about the sorting algorithms that are based on divide and conquer algorithm technique.